do-it-yourself girlfriend, and Christmas is right around the corner, so today I'm going to show you how to make a wooden sled decoration. But first, we need to go get a couple supplies. I went to Home Depot first and grabbed two 2x4 by 3 foot boards. I also got a 1x4 by 4 foot board, and then I got 3 of these cedar pieces that already have the corners cut off to look like fence posts. Then I went to Hobby Lobby and I grabbed this pretty buffalo plaid bow. I also grabbed 2 of these garland pieces. I got some red acrylic paint, a couple paint brushes, and 2 yards of this jute cord rope. The rest of the supplies I already had at home, so you'll need a whitewash paint and then a dark stain to go underneath, an old rag, sandpaper, a pencil and wood glue, 2.5 inch and 1.5 inch screws, a drill with a 3/4 paddle bit and a tape measure, and then you'll also need a clear protective finish. And that should be everything, so let's go ahead and get started. Now we need to cut the wood, so let's start by making a 45-degree angle on both of our 2x4 pieces. To do this, you'll need to move your chop saw over to that 45-degree angle, make sure you lock it and line up your blade with your pencil mark, and then you can go ahead and slowly cut through the wood. Now we'll need to measure and mark our fence post pieces at 34 inches, and you'll only have to mark 1 post because we can cut all 3 at the same time. You'll want to just make sure that your 3 pieces are all lined up and even, and then you can go ahead and cut through them all at once. Now we need to cut our 1x4 board into 2 pieces that will evenly go across the fence post boards, and pushed together they are 16.5 inches wide. Now I will measure and mark my 1x4 at 16.5 inches and then go ahead and cut through the wood. And like I said, you'll need 2 of these pieces, so make sure to repeat that step. And just so you have an idea, this is what the base of the sled is going to look like. Now that our wood is cut, the first thing we need to do is sand down all of those pieces. I just wrapped a piece of sandpaper around some spare wood and then sanded down all my pieces until they were smooth. Next, you'll need that dark wood stain and your rag. You can use whatever stain you'd like, but I'm using a classic gray shade, and you're going to want to dip your rag in the stain and apply it to all 3 of your fence post pieces and your 2 1x4 pieces. And once you're finished, you can set those pieces aside to dry for the time that your stain requires. Next, you'll need your red acrylic paint and paintbrush. While your stain is drying, you can go ahead and apply the red paint to your 2x4 pieces. And make sure you let one side dry before you flip it over to do the other side, otherwise it'll mess up the paint job. Once your stain is dry, it's time to apply whitewash paint. And this may sound a little reckless, but since I'm going for a more vintage look, I'm just going to put a thin layer of paint on the brush and then kind of sloppily apply it to all of these pieces to create the whitewash look. Painting is finally done, so now you'll need your tape measure and pencil. You want the inside fence post piece to be 2 inches taller than the outside pieces, so you'll want to place a mark 2 inches from the bottom on both of the outside pieces. Now we need to make our marks for the 1x4 pieces. One of them will go 8 inches from the bottom and the other will be 8 inches from the top. So you'll want to place that 8-inch mark on both sides from the bottom and both sides from the top, that way you'll know exactly where to lay those boards. Now you'll want to measure and mark your 1x4 boards to where you can evenly place 6 screws through each. Now you'll need your 1.5 inch wood screws, wood glue, and drill. So first, make sure that everything is all lined up and pushed together, and then you can add glue to the back of your 1x4 board. Make sure you get a hefty amount on there and then place that board back on those pencil marks. Then you can go ahead and drill your 6 screws into place on top of the pencil marks you made, and then you'll want to do the exact same thing to your other 1x4 board. Now you'll need your drill with your 3/4 inch paddle bit. Now we're going to create a hole for both of our 2x4 pieces, 1 inch down and 1.5 inches across. Then place the base of your sled on top of the legs, 8 inches from the top and 3 inches from the bottom. Now you'll want to evenly drill 6 of your 2.5 inch screws on each side of the sled to attach the base to the legs. Now that everything's put together, you'll want to add your clear protective finish. Apply your protective coat to your sled, and then once you're done, you'll need to set that sled out to dry for the time that your finish requires. Once your finish is dry, go ahead and grab your rope. You'll want to loop your rope through the holes and then just tie a basic knot on both sides. Finally, the last step is to add the bow and garland. I'm using a hot glue gun to attach these pieces to the sled, and you might have to mess with everything a little bit before you get it exactly how you'd like it, and then after that, the sled is complete. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a Merry Christmas. Be good!